This fall could see a major shift in work arrangements as federal government and large corporate employees start to return to the office. This month, President Biden's chief of staff told cabinet officials to urge their employees to get back into the office this fall. More recently, we've seen the big names like Amazon, Starbucks, and even Zoom setting new policies. But will this go well over employees, especially since it's still a tight job market at this point?
Back with us today, Rourke, the managing editor of the Denver Business Journal. And we've lived through 3 years now since we discovered remote work. It happened during the pandemic, of course. But now it seems companies are really getting serious about changing policies and wanting the employees back in the office.
Yeah, I guess the party's over. Not really. You know, the bottom line, hybrid work is going to be here to stay, but we do see these major companies coming forward and saying, we want you back in the office. We want better collaboration. We want you to be able to look at each other and talk across the table rather than staring at your flat screen all day. There's the accountability issue. You know, if you've seen a drop in production, perhaps you might want to keep a closer eye on your employees, and you can't do that unless they're in your office. And then we've seen this curious thing about office vacancy rates. You know, with the remote work, less people are in the office. Interestingly enough, office vacancy in Denver went up just a little bit last quarter.
And do they have any idea why? I mean, why this would have been? I mean, you know they've been desperate to get people back.
Sure, they have been. I really can't tie it directly to, you know, tightening down on remote work. Leasing activity went up Q2 as well. So it is kind of a curious thing happening at the same time.
Is it just going up because it's been so low? Because office vacancy rates have dropped so low that it's got nowhere to go but up?
That's very true. In fact, it's the first time it's gone up since 2019, pre-pandemic. However, I want to caution, you know, this trend was starting. I had a lunch with some experts today, and this trend actually started before the pandemic. We started seeing offices shrink their footprint and technology increase, and then a shift in our culture where people want that work-life balance. They want to go pick up their kids from, you know, the bus stop, or they want to come here or there. In talking about work-life balance, it's kind of interesting because now employers are playing that same card in a different way, saying you're going to have better work-life balance if you come back to the office because you can work your 8 hours and then go home and be with your family rather than taking a break during the day, running out and doing this errand, and then working till 10:30 at night.
Who has the upper hand when you talk about employers want you to come back? Employees, I'm guessing, especially as you skew younger, probably say, I don't want to come back. I want to be in charge of my own life. My own work-life balance belongs to me. Who has the edge in this push and pull?
That is a fantastic question because there is going to be, you know, the push me, pull me thing. And still, as the labor market continues to be tight, employees do have that negotiating power. They can say, you know, I don't really like this setup. I want to work. I'm very productive. I can work from home. I'll go get another job. What's kind of interesting is Jamie Dimon from JP Morgan, the CEO, who does not shy away from saying, you know, what he thinks.
Speaks his mind.
He said, look, I get it. You don't like a half-hour commute to work? Well, you don't have to have this job here.
That's the thing. I mean, it's interesting because I couldn't agree more on collaboration things. I was dying to be back with people. Right. But some people are going to say, no, I need work-life balance. You look at Google, how they used to have gaming systems and things to help people escape when they got to the office. Is there something they can do to get people to come back? Can they say you can adjust your hours for traffic or give you a little more money, employers?
I have a great example of that. It's really the carrot versus stick kind of approach. You know, Jamie Dimon might prefer the stick, but Ernst & Young did something very interesting. Early on, they asked their employees to come back to the office. Then there was another surge in COVID. So they had to put that on hold. But what they ended up doing was talking to their employees. There's a novel idea.
Yeah, try that.
Wow.
And kind of collaborating with them. What do you need to make this transition back to the office, which we think is going to be beneficial to production? What do you need to make that happen? What they ended up doing was giving employees an extra $800 a year to defray the cost of pet care, you know, all those dogs we adopted during the pandemic, child care, and then the cost of commuting, parking, things like that. And their office participation went up 150%.
Paid off for them.
It did.
But
hybrid's here to stay, I think.
Yeah, that's the thing. The model continues to evolve, if you will. So we'll continue to take a look at it. Chris, it's good to see you.
Great to see you.
Thanks as always.
Thanks.
Thank you.